Okay, let's try this again. My computer had a blue screen of sorts, so apologies for the abrupt interruption. Um, hopefully people will be able to make it back here. I'll try to get back to where I left off earlier. Um, but man, Windows 10 can be a pain sometimes. I'm not sure if you guys have dealt with blue screens before. They're quite a pain. Um, happens from time to time, but it's especially annoying when it happens during a live stream, which has never happened to me before. But we've hopefully gracefully recovered now, and I'll try to get back to where I left off earlier. We were talking about just plans for this channel for 2021. And I'll say what a year it's been, or these past 2 years, 2020 and 2021 have been. But man, we're already 3 months into this year. It's been quite a blur. Anyway, without much ado, I'll go ahead and just start getting back to where I was earlier. So we were talking about plan. Oh yeah, sorry. And at any time you have any questions, or if there's like a volume issue, sound, any of those kinds of things, just let me know. I'll be monitoring chat throughout the stream. Don't plan on keeping the stream very long, maybe about half an hour to 1 hour tops. Anyway, so main thing I just want to do is kind of get more videos and in more variety this year. So of course that means more compilations. Specifically, I want to do I want to kind of switch things up a bit. So just get the normal compilations that have been uploaded, these past few months regarding the character specific and player specific kind of things. Those get to about like 15 minutes. And then I want to do mini compilations, which would be, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the Hilda mini compilation back in Unist for Isaga's Hilda. That was about 7 minutes. The mini compilations would be something like that, just to feature players or characters, or mostly players, of course, that aren't exactly frequently seen on the main stage. Maybe many people aren't familiar with the said player, or they just do some interesting or niche techniques. I just wanted to kind of change things up a bit with that. I don't know how much those would happen in terms of frequency, or but plan on seeing one in the coming months or weeks, starting out with a character that I haven't done yet. And then I also want to do some more like tech videos, so like just explaining like the previous tech video I did was just explaining how to use Nanase's BNB at low combo scalings, something like that, just to change things up and just kind of fill the void that is uni content on YouTube. So those kinds of things. And of course, I just want to explain briefly my situation regarding the lack of frequent uploads last year. I was just going through some kind of personal roadblocks last year, of course, with the pandemic, as well as with ooh, hold on, give me a second. Bit rate is too high. But yeah, I just want to kind of get into more uploading frequency, not make it like last year where I probably can count on my fingers how many videos I uploaded last year. But I'm not going to let that happen again, It's kind of been at an all-time low in terms of motivation for making videos last year, pandemic and all, as well as just the lack of ability to find lots of footage from people playing Uni. I think in general, Uniclair still hasn't developed to the full that it could have. And of course, it came out at an unfortunate time during last year. It came out right kind of before the pandemic hit us all. And from there, it didn't really get many updates other than a balance patch and, of course, Laundry Queue being released. But overall, it's been quite a disappointment that the game still hasn't gotten rollback. Because in its current state, it's really just quite unplayable, and that makes for a very poor experience. And of course, from there, causes the lack of motivation, at least in me, to make videos. I think I kind of gotten over that now. Kind of moved on from playing a lot of Uni these days. I've been playing other stuff, but anyway, in general, this year I'll just try to make some more Uni videos. I think there's still people streaming from time to time some Uni matches, but in general, I'll just try to look for more things that can be put in a compilation video. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's really most of what I wanted to touch on. I think in general, once this game gets like a few more updates, one of them including like rollback and stuff, that's when it'll kind of be more worth talking about kind of the balance topics of Uniclair, because right now, like, no one really has like an authoritative statement on the current state of the game, just because there hasn't been any like offline play or notable development of the game's meta. So it's really hard to say like, oh, this character is kind of good, or this character is I mean, of course, people have all been saying Vatista's really good. Hard to disagree with that, but there's still lots of room for exploration. So, and anyway, once we get to Vatista eventually, in terms of Uniclair compilations, I'll try to look for the juicy stuff that people are doing with her. But anyway, yeah, I think that's really all I wanted to mention regarding just making videos this year. And yeah, I guess for the rest of this stream, I'll just be sitting in training mode for a bit. I don't really have much planned this time around, so, but yeah, feel free to hit me up with a question in the chat, or let me know if you have any characters in mind that you want me to do next in terms of compilation videos. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode on me this time. What's up, Rockazulu? Let's see. I always wanted to ask you, how did you get into Under Night? I think the earliest I could think back to when I first got into it was like 2016-ish. I had first, that was like around the time when the game, when Unio first released on PC. I was actually just looking for an anime game that was interesting. At the time, I was playing a lot of BlazBlue, and I was kind of getting dissatisfied with it because the ports that were released to PC just weren't great, especially Central Fiction when it was first released to PC. I'm not sure if you're familiar with its PC release. around the first few days. Lots of bugs, lots of graphics issues, all of that, and that was just really annoying. So I wanted to look for a different anime game to play in the meantime. And turns out, Uni was one of the ones that I found, and it became a game that you know dominated my playtime over BlazBlue. And in general, uh, when I was looking for like high level matches of it, the tournament footage just looked really cool. And cool factor is always going to be a reason why a person gets into the game, but Uni especially looks just great for a modern fighting game, a modern sprite based fighting game at that. Um, and then from there, I was just watching a lot of arcade footage, and I was like, wow, this game is very deep, and looks like there's a lot that I didn't even think of that you can do in terms of like the reads, the Yomi, and all of that. So that was all really intriguing to me. From there, the other games I was playing slowly went kind of to the back burner. At the time, I was playing a lot of BlazBlue and KOF, so um, Uni quickly became my main game, and from there, you know, got really hooked on it. So, mhm. um, what's up, Blaze Warrior? Oh yeah, yeah. The PC port was just bad for like the first couple of weeks or so. They fixed it eventually though, but they didn't have a great sale at first because I think it came out at $40 on PC, and they didn't like give you good discounts on it. So I just refunded it, and then when they fixed the bugs and issues and all that, I bought it again. But by then I was deep into uni, so didn't really mess around with it that much. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that was back when Uniel was on PC, not Unis. Unis at the time was around, like at the arcades and on console, but on PC it was only Uniel still. I'm trying to get better at playing Gordeau. Gordeau's really fun. Um, like what aspects are you looking to improve on? Like just making the reads or um, improving neutral? Which kinds of aspects are you looking to improve at? Oh yeah, yeah. It's a blast. Rock Zulu, it's a blast. I wish I had found out about the game sooner. Apparently, Vanilla Uni was a really broken game, and it looks like it would have been fun to mess around with it a little bit. But I think it never reached like console. It was only at the arcades. It wasn't until Unio where you could play Uni on PC or on console. But I think the game really just got polished a lot with a Unist version 3.2. That was really when I think the game like just took off because that's basically what the game's current identity is. With some exceptions that came about uh, towards the beginning of Uniclair. But of course, the groundwork for the game was already laid in Uniel, and then they just needed some polishing regarding game balance and just making a few moves more useful, and that was all accomplished in Unis 3.2. So, and the rest is history. Oh, got you. Okay. Yeah. So regarding Bordeaux, I guess just let me see if I can just pull out Gordeau for a bit. Um, I haven't messed around with them so much, but I have a generally okay idea of how to play him. So just as a like just to open this up with the kind of a jocular statement, use his backdash a lot. Hold on, let me turn on inputs. Use his backdash a lot. I hear that's what makes you a top Gordo player. um, but jokes aside, his backdash is really good. So if you're trying to just move around in neutral, you can you know backdash, and it does good work. But I think one of Gordo's weaknesses is for his dash startup is kind of a little slow. So if you're dash blocking, you're probably not playing him totally right. But at the same time, sometimes you just have to dash block. Dash blocking is usually a safe thing to do, no matter who you're playing against. But if you're Gordeau, you know, they're going to be dash blocking against you because of Mortal Slide. But if you just want like general tips on how to play Gordeau, make sure you're not Mortal Sliding at like here at this range, because you know if they block it, and if they're shielding it properly, like generally the good thing to do against Gordeau is shield the second hit of his Mortal Slide, and that like puts you in sort of a bad position because you're just gonna lose a ton of grid in general. So like if you're gonna Mortal Slide and stuff, which you should obviously, but if you're going to, you got to make sure to do it like from its longest range possible, so like probably around here. Of course you want the first hit to connect, but like I don't think you should do it like right here. Like that's probably not a good idea. And then like regarding Grim Reaper, you're going to use it sort of as like if you expect them to press the button when you're like slightly minus and you have Vorpal. So I guess like maybe you'd 5A and then hold on. So like after 5A you're kind of slightly minus, right? But if you like delay cancel into Grim Reaper, you can get like a mini frame trap. Let me just so there, like that's probably too big of a gap to make it like real. But if you so you see how you slightly delay 5A into 5B, that's like a nice frame trap you can do. So if you do the same thing into Grim Reaper, you can catch them if they're mashing. So that's like a good way to use Grim Reaper. And obviously another way to do it is if they're in the air. As an anti-air, it's a really good move because they can't block it in the air. But otherwise, I don't think, like obviously it's not a safe unblock move, so if you don't have like meter or you don't have Vorpal, then Grim Reaper is pretty risky. But obviously if they're in the air, then you can just do it and they can't do anything about it. Sorry, just looking at some Gordeau notes that people have written in the Mizumi wiki. Actually, I'm just gonna send you a link to Mizumi wiki because I think you'll get probably some more fleshed out tips from there rather than just from my showing you stuff. Let me grab the link for that. Give me a sec. But yeah, in general, I think it's like one of the kind of important things to get down on Gordeau is just getting used to your buttons. Because, I mean, that's like every character in this game, but especially Gordeau, because if you're not careful, like a lot of the stuff is just punishable. Like if you just accidentally forget to cancel 5C, for example, that's like super punishable. I mean, like probably even like 5C can punish it. Yeah, it's really punishable. So you just want to get used to using your buttons, and obviously you don't want to use 5C without. You don't just want to use 5C without canceling it unless you're just really confident that they're not going to punish it. But you know, see, even at like a high, like this is like a pretty far range of using 5C, and 5C still punishes. High 5C still punishes it if you don't cancel it, which you know. So obviously, it's not a good idea to not cancel 5C, but you know, in order for that to just not happen on accident, you got to really just get used to using his buttons. And that goes for his 2C and his buttons in general. And then I guess last thing, knowing when to use this command grab. Like, it's pretty hard to get people to stay still in order to land this command grab, but once you've conditioned them to like respect your pressure, then you can just do command grab over and over. But for example here, they're gonna press a button on wake up, because like if they're gonna mash, then command grab won't work. Whoops, let me yeah, see, so I get counter out of command grab if they're mashing. So you basically gotta stop them from mashing by doing a meaty. Like, basically you gotta hit them as they're waking up in order to get them to respect. In order to get them to respect first, you gotta hit them, and then once they start respecting, then you can do command grab over and over. All right, let's see. I mean, Seth and I have a few issues with the Gordeau matchup. Mainly, it's EX command grab. I can block him fine, but I panic easily when the command grab starts coming out. You know what? Me too, actually. Um, that one's just kind of a getting accustomed to a thing. It is technically like jumpable on reaction, but it's easy to get kind of tense when it's about to occur, and then forget that you can escape it. Let me just switch the dummy quickly. So see there, I tried like jumping when I saw the flash, and I wasn't fast enough, right? That one you just got to get used to. Yeah, it's pretty hard to do it on reaction. I mean, it's still possible to do, and of course here I'm anticipating it because I know that's the only thing he's gonna do. But I guess let's say instead he does like EX Grim Reaper. Um, so in this case, they obviously have a different super flash. Like the startup looks a little different, but yeah. So see there, you can kind of see. Okay, that's a command grab. That's not EX Grim Reaper. Um, but anyway, like if you just need more practice on recognizing the situation, you can do what I've done here, which is basically record the dummy to do like two sorts of EX options, and then randomly switch between them, um, and just see if you can uh, distinguish the super flash between EX command grab and like EX Grim Reaper. Of course, it's pretty hard to do, but if you practice it for a bit, then you'll get the hang of it. Oh yeah, Blaze Warrior in general. I meant also like just not just like the combos, but um, just getting used to what his buttons do. Like on the wiki, there's descriptions for each one of his buttons, um, just to give you some basic ideas of how you can use them. Uh, but in general, like um, they don't have like comprehensive or like fully descriptive points about all of his moves. Some of the knowledge about his moves you have to kind of develop on your own just by going in and playing some matches. And given the netcode situation, that's obviously a difficult thing to do. But um, there's always playing. You can still play against a CPU just to put yourself in a real match situation and use his moves and stuff. It won't, in the long run, you'll have to play against real people just to get in that kind of mindset. But you can still get yourself accustomed to a character just by playing against the CPU for a bit and switching between that and training mode. Yep, and yeah, feel free to ask any questions you have to the Gordeau channel in the main Uni Discord. The main Uni Discord, I think it's called Under Night and Birth Player Hub or something. But there are a lot of people that can help you out over there that have like a lot more Gordeau knowledge than I do. So feel free to do that as well. And for those of you that just joined, just chilling, don't really plan on doing anything in particular, but of course, feel free to shoot me up any questions in the chat regarding anything related to the game, related to compilation videos, or anything like that. I'm just chilling here for a bit. What's up? Who's that hot spice? And be with you as well. Thank you very much. It's been quite a difficult past 2 years for me, but I'm hanging in there, and may Jesus be with you too. Let's see. Yeah, no problem, Blaze Warrior. Hopefully, you'll get more familiar with Gordeau and one day be a force to be reckoned with. Let me know if you want me to change the song as well. Sometimes playing the same old song over and over can get boring. Byaku's theme is good though. Oh yeah, for sure. Um, I don't really play online in this game these days because the online is just so bad. I don't have a wired connection right now either, so that makes it that much worse. But in the first place, when I was on wired playing online in Unist with people in the same city, it was quite a poor experience anyway. So I'm just not going to bother with it for a while. Once it gets rolled back, I'll be back right in, and yes, hopefully we can meet online someday. Ooh, Enkidu's theme. Enkidu's theme, I really like it as well. I like I like the guitar that it has in the beginning and especially throughout the song. It's really it's a really motivating like hero kind of theme. I'll put that on right now, as a matter of fact. Oh, I skipped it. Oh, there we go. For those of you that missed out, kind of what we were talking about earlier. I was just talking about plans for this channel for 2021. Just mainly trying to get more videos out, compilations, more variety of compilations. So I plan on doing like mini compilations for lesser seen players slash characters. Those will be about 7 minutes long compared to the current compilations, which, based on the feedback you guys gave in the recent poll, seems like the length for those has been good. So thank you very much for that. I'll keep that up. But the next one will be, the next main compilation will be for Akatsuki. I'll look to doing potentially a mini compilation of sorts soon for a different player or character that hasn't been featured as much. But of course, you'll see that video when it comes. I'm not going to make any hard promises on that. And then I also want to do some like more tech videos, like similar to the Nanase's, a note on Nanase's bread and butter combo, using her bread and butter at lower prorations. So videos like that. I actually have a video in the works right now on how to on some counterplay against Lynn's Hien B. Her Hien B is the move where she like does a flip and can do either an overhead or a low. I'll just quickly pull that out here. So this move is Hien B. I'm gonna do a video on that pretty soon, because I've been seeing a lot of people online get blown up by that. I've gotten blown up by it plenty of times myself, so I feel like it's worth doing a video on that, and then perhaps in the future I'll do a few more like kind of tech or demonstration videos. And then finally, I'll try to change things up with different games. Lately, Uni's been kind of in a weird spot right now because we're in limbo on the status of any game balance or game updates, and also regarding whether the game's going to get rollback. We don't know still yet, but hopefully there will be some sort of announcement to break the silence from the devs soon. But I'm looking forward to whenever that will be. What's up, King Nightblade? Oh yeah, I don't upload in a very like I don't upload in a kind of consistent pattern. I just kind of upload whenever I feel like it or whenever I have time. Last year was pretty hectic, so I didn't get a lot of uploads in, but I'll try to make that different this year. But yeah, it's been an interesting couple of past years. Looking over, I was looking back at the first compilation video I did. I think that was in like 2017 or something. Man, it felt like ages ago. But it's interesting to look back at kind of the format I was trying to work with at that time. I'll just let you know right now, a lot of the formats of these compilations were inspired by 8 Sinem. He used to do compilations for KOF XIII. Shoutouts to him. His videos were awesome. That served like as a lot of inspiration for these videos, and KOF XIII in general is an awesome game. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, it's been quite an interesting road since then. I think Uni, like as a whole, has grown a lot since then though as well. So with all the Evo hype and the hype from BB Tag that was in 2018-ish, the game has seen a lot of new players interested in checking it out. Now, of course, with Uniclair, the unfortunate situation of, the pandemic and all of that has kind of stunted the growth lately, but I think the game will make a pretty good comeback once in due time. For now, things will be a little quiet, I think, for another couple of months, but hopefully it will make a good comeback soon. Yeah, I wonder who the next character will be if they do end up adding another character. But honestly, the next thing I want to see from this game is really just a netcode improvement. Like, I don't really care about I don't know if I would really pay much mind to them adding another character at this point until rollback's added. Um, let's see. Any other anime fighters you play in your downtime? Actually, yeah. I've been playing a lot of BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. It's like one of the older versions of BlazBlue. It's actually on Steam right now. I think last time I checked, it's on sale for $2.99. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that one lately. I've been playing a lot of Plus R, Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R. Really fun game, and of course, great netcode. And it's been getting some pretty insane quality of life improvements lately. I'm not sure if you guys have seen. Excuse me. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the latest one. The latest update it got. It's like the Take Control update. You can basically, while you're watching a replay, you can take control of the characters while they're while they're fighting. You in the middle of their fight, you can take control of one of the characters and like lab like a specific situation that you got hit by back in one of the matches that you played. And I think that's like an awesome feature. I can't believe that it's like one of those things where it's like, wow, I didn't know that I wanted to see this in every fighting game, but now like I want to see this in every fighting game. It's one of those kinds of features. It's really great. Um, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of Plus R, a lot of Continuum Shift Extend, BlazBlue. Um, that's pretty much it though. Plus R has good netcode, so I've been playing that a lot with friends, but otherwise, uh, not many other fighting games I've been playing lately. I did play a lot of 2002 back when it first got rolled back, but lots of my friends are playing Plus R right now, so that's just what I've been playing lately as well. Let's see, do you think that Gordeau deserved to have a love interest? Oh, is this something related to the game's story? Because I honestly have no idea. I haven't played through the game's story. Um, maybe if you could elaborate more on that, Blaze Warrior, I could give you a better answer to that. Thanks for the advice with Gordeau. Definitely going to help when I fight him again. Out of curiosity, what's your process for learning a new character? That's a great question. Wow. In fact, I feel like that question would require a very like thorough breakdown in like its own video, but I'll try to do my best to make it like a digestible for this for now. So in general, like the first thing I do is like, what do the character's buttons do, right? Like just pressing a button. No, I'm not even talking about like the movement. I'm just talking about like what does pressing a button with them do? Like what does their A button do? What does their B button do? What does their C button do? And then of course afterwards you test what it does when they're crouching, and you take notes of like, okay, that has a lot of range, but is it fast? It's sort of fast, not really though. So maybe I don't want to use that all the time, because if they can predict it, then they can punish it. And then of course that move is like, okay, that has a lot of range too, and look at how low it crouches. That's probably a good low poke. Things like that are important to experiment with first. I think like that's my approach initially. So after I figure out what all their moves do, like just not really how to use them, but just like what they do when I press them, then I kind of just go through the special moves as well, because their special moves will probably give you a better hint into how the character plays than just by pressing their normals. So like Lynn has the fireballs and the air fireball. She also has the special move attack that has follow-ups with it, and the follow-ups do different things. So when I first saw the follow-ups that Lynn can do, this was back in Unio, I really wasn't sure how to incorporate it, but then I learned that you can apparently cancel it into normals on hit, which is like, whoa, that was mind-blowing when I first saw that. But yeah, I think in general, just going over all like what the moves do, you don't even have to use all of them in matches, but just what they do will give you a better idea of, okay, how can I plan out my path in terms of learning the character and improving on them. And then after I've kind of gotten familiar with their moves, I learn a basic combo, right? Like a very simple one, maybe like a. Let me try to remember what the basic combo I had on Lin was a while ago. I think something like that probably was like the basic combo. You can even make it even more basic, but learn like a learn like a combo like that you can do easily enough without too much trouble, and then put yourself in a match and try to see what you can do with the character, just so you can see how they play in a real match. And then from there you can kind of develop your game plan because you have a better idea on how to improve from after that. That's when you can start adding like, okay, what techniques do other players use, so you can watch footage of a top player on that character, see how they use the character, and hopefully get ideas from them. And then you can start really getting deep into the nitty gritty, like, okay, wow, I can dash cancel Kuga. What does that allow me to do, right? Things like that. And then, oh, I can roll. From out of dash, I can roll, right? How can I use that to open up? Sorry, how can I use that to open up unwary opponents? Of course, roll canceling is not really great to do offline, but when people are not, paying attention, it can probably catch them off a little bit, um, especially online, of course. I think things like that, like, are things that are worth figuring out initially, and then later on, once you get really comfortable with the character, you can start figuring out more complex combos and maybe more advanced techniques on how to open people up, um, things of that nature. But I think in general, you just got to build it step by step. Like, if you learn all of the character, like if you learn everything they have to do in like one training mode session, you're not going to learn that much. So you got to take it piece by piece, really add just one component of the character's game plan at a time. And I think what helped me a lot when I was learning this game is just watching top players as well. Not really like I couldn't really understand everything they did at first, but if you can understand one thing they do, that's probably good because then you can like steal that, and that's something you can use in a real match and see if that works out for you. And you can gradually add more aspects to your game plan from there. Um, yeah, I hope that helps. I think that was like a really like shallow explanation, but um, I think that's like also a good starting point, at least in general. I hope that helps. Um, Pulsar is pretty fun. Dizzy is the character I gravitate towards the most based on playstyle and aesthetic. Dizzy is mega fun in Pulsar. Like, she is loaded and has a ton of like fun setups that you can just do, and it's great. I really like it. It's interesting to see how different she is in Plus R compared to Exard, because Exard, like, she lost a lot of her tools, relatively speaking, but she's still decent. But yeah, Plus R is super fun, and I can agree with that. Dizzy's really fun as well. I wish she still had her fish follow ups in Exard, but perhaps for good reason they took it away. It might be just me, but I love to hear how learning characters can change from player to player. I usually just look at matchup footage before I try the character out so I know what to expect. That's actually a good idea too. Like, if you're just like starting out in the game and you're looking for a character to start off with, skimming through some match footage actually can narrow things down a lot more. So, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Um, and I think also if you just see the character at the max potential, it just gives you like motivation to go further with them. And then once you go further with them, that's when you can really know whether you want to play the character. Because once you go further with them, you'll start to probably see more clearly their flaws, and their strengths, of course. but that will let you know kind of whether um, those are things those are things you're willing to work with, or those are things that you feel like, I don't really like the fact that I have to do this in order to do this. So maybe I'll just find a different character that suits my needs a little more. Yeah, you can definitely find out those things from watching footage. And I do think that the fact that so many players that play the same character play differently on that same character is just an incredible thing. That kind of like expressiveness of fighting games, especially, in this game that has a lot of it, that's probably one of my favorite aspects of fighting games in general. So it's definitely a cool thing to see. Let's see, the problem I have when it comes to playing fighting games, I'd be in my own head a lot, and I just have all these thoughts, and I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna screw up this combo. You know, I think just getting used to playing in like um, I think just getting used to playing a real match, like just putting yourself in the situation where you do have to do things on the fly. The more you do it, it's kind of like throwing yourself into the fire, but maybe not that extreme, but in general, just putting yourself in a situation where you have to think on the fly. The more often you do that, I think, the more you'll get used to it without having those thoughts. Now, of course, you do want to make sure you're used to just applying the things that you want to apply. So maybe in training mode, for example, let me open back up the game. Maybe in training mode, you just want to get used to reverse beating. So reverse beating, in this game, if you guys aren't familiar already, is like where you can cancel any move into any move as long as you haven't used that move in the current string. And that's part of like what makes the game like really freeform and expressive, right? But in a real match, this can be weird, kind of awkward to incorporate because, in the heat of the moment, you're just trying to like, I want to get in, right? I want to hope that they don't mash out of this pressure. So let me see if I can combo them. But actually, you can probably open up people just by doing that and seeing what they do, right? Like, let's say Gordeau does, like, out of block stun, he does 3C. His slide move. Let's see where that is. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's say out of block stun, Gordeau does the slide move, right? And then you rebeat from 5A. You see how I'm standing right outside of the range where 3C would hit? So I can whiff punish that now with like a move that is fast enough. Like 6B is pretty good, but let me see if I can pull that off. Okay, so there he recovered actually. I wasn't quick enough with that. But the general idea is that you can whiff punish moves. And once you get used to whiff punishing moves, like, which is, pretty much unlocked when you can reverse beat from moves at this range, then that's when you're kind of like, okay, I don't need to worry about doing things in the heat of the moment anymore because I can predict what they're going to do and give myself enough time to plan out like what I'm going to do afterwards. But of course, as you just saw, like, I still couldn't even like do the 6B in time to punish the 3C 100% of the time. So in general, that's like a situation you can just practice in training mode a little more. And worst case, you don't have to do it perfectly. You can just do like there I blocked 3C. It's my turn now that I've blocked it. 3C is not plus and block at that range, like especially point blank, right? Or closer, not point blank necessarily. But I think that was a punish. I'm not sure. Yeah, so there that wasn't a punish, but earlier earlier that was a punish. So I didn't even have to like whiff punish that explicitly. So in general, you can kind of just you can do many things from reverse beating. You don't have to just like whiff punish, for example. So I think just putting yourself in a like maybe you can start out with like an easier situation from reverse beating. Like of course reverse beatings are a specific example here, but this goes for like any technique you're trying to use in a match. You can put yourself in like the simplest situation as possible just so that you can get used to using that technique in the first place, right? So in this case, just get used to using reverse beat. I got hit there because I wasn't ready to block, but blocking is probably a simple thing to do from reverse beat. Knowing that I'm minus after doing 5C, 5A. And then later on when you're like okay, they're pressing a button every single time I do 5A, 5 or 5C, 5A. Every time I do it, they're pressing a button. So why don't I like jump, or why don't I back away after I do it? So I can try to whiff punch them after that. But of course, I couldn't whiff punch them in time because I didn't use a fast enough move. Okay, so let's try a different move. I do that. Okay, I didn't reach. So I probably can't punish them if I do a backdash. No problem. I'll try something else out. So in general, just by building those layers, you're eventually going to figure something out that works for you and is, relatively easier to incorporate. Now, of course, the first time you try to do this in a match, you're probably going to have those thoughts where it's like, I'm going to mess this up. But again, you can still go back to the simplest thing that you can do. You can just block, for example, here, or you can jump or whatever. I mean, like in general, like of course here they don't always have to do 3C after the reverse beat, but I do think it's a good idea to just start out simple and then work your way up from there, so that you don't feel like every time like, oh man, I'm gonna mess this up. So I hope that gives you a good idea, Blaze Warrior. And yeah, I love rebeats as well. Rebeats are like a really satisfying aspect of this game. I think that's what kept me in the long run as well. Um, and it's part of what makes pressure freeform, as I said earlier. And yeah, frame traps. It just all comes together really well. I really love that part of the game. Um, that was a frame trap because there's a gap in between 5A and 5C, so I can like counter hit them and then do a combo from there. And from my experience, Under Night doesn't have many grounded overheads, so the game feels like you're encouraged to frequently use frame traps to open people up. It just might be me. No, that's spot on. That's actually 100% right. Usually you're going to open people up with frame traps, which is why, again, you do have to play against real people, because generally the CPU is not going to handle frame traps in the same way as a real person, Real people make mistakes. Like, a perfect CPU can just perfectly just read your inputs and do the correct response every time. A real person's not going to do that. So playing against real people, you'll be able to see how they respond to certain things like rebeats or frame traps, and then perhaps condition them for later on. So let's say I did 5A, 5C, and every time they mashed, right? And they're like, okay, next time I'll just not mash. I'm just going to sit there. So you do 5A, 5C, and they block, right? So then if they're just going to block that, then you can actually just do 5A nothing. Because they're respecting, even though you're minus after 5A, they're respecting it. So why don't you can just do that, right? And then they're like, okay, they're just doing 5A, so let me try to mash out of that. So now I'm just gonna frame trap them again because they're mashing after it. And let's say they start respecting it again because they don't want to get a counter hit after that. Then you can do like 5A and then throw, because throw catches people that are just respecting, sitting there and blocking. I just love all of that part. I just love all of that aspect of the game. It's just really well thought out, and I think most other games that try to have frame traps and stuff, it ends up kind of being a little like clunky in a way, because you can't cancel anything into anything, like in Street Fighter, especially Street Fighter 5. You can't really like cancel your your down medium punch. You can just press it, right? And even though you're plus, if you want to frame trap them, you got to press like something else that has a long enough startup, but is quick enough before they can actually just mash you out. And it feels a little clunkier because you can't cancel from that. But in this game, it's like, okay, I can do like 5B and then wait a little bit and then do 5C, and I can still do stuff after that. Like, it's not over. I can do like that and then see the 2A hit there. So I didn't actually whiff it. I can still cancel that 2A into throw if I were close enough. Things like that, I think, make the game just really smooth and clean to play. So I totally agree with you, Rocket Zulu. You know, one thing I wish they could do for Lynn, why don't they make her dragon do anything? Like the dragon just kind of sits there and follows her. Why don't they make the dragon like do an attack? Like maybe um something similar to like Nakaruru in Samurai Showdown, where she has like the bird flying behind her. She can like call the bird down to do an attack. Why don't they have something for I think his name is Ku, the pet dragon. They should have something for him where he like where Lin sends him down to attack. That would be a cool thing for them to do in a new update. But you know, I hope whatever they're working on will come soon. By the way, shoutouts to FGC at UCLA. If you guys noticed, that's underneath the game capture here is the student org that I run at my school. We run events and tournaments and all those kinds of things throughout the year. Feel free to check out their YouTube channel. Let me see if I can put a link here. Yeah, we do some events from time to time, so feel free to check them out if you're interested in seeing those. We're done with tournaments until maybe like next month-ish, but we'll be back with some events pretty soon. Let's see, Enkidu's a cool character. I was trying to see if I can play him as well. He's really fun. They did him really well. He reminds me of Enja from Samurai Showdown. Um, Enja is like he has like the same like cuffs on his hands, and he has like like his like energy that he shoots when he attacks is like fire energy or something. Um, and like Enkidu just reminds me of him, just on his design and all of that. But Enkidu himself like just feels like a KOF character. It's really cool. Um, and in like just regarding his gameplay, they greatly buffed his his moveset in general. Of course, you know, some of it got removed in 1.03, especially regarding his parry and his dashing C. Those both of those used to be pretty insane in the first version of Claire. But I think his all around like my favorite button of his to use is 4C. 4C is amazing, and they buffed it in Claire to give some head invincibility, and that just makes it such a satisfying move to use. So let me just get Gordeau in the air and doing some attack. Um, Actually, probably the best way to do this is record. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. I think that should work. So now it has head invincibility. It's amazing. It's like you can if you like are able to anti-air really well, this is for you, pretty much. I don't know exactly how to do Enkidu's combos, but I've seen people do something like that. something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but anyway, his 4C is satisfying to use. And aside from its head invincibility, it's just a good poke as well. Now, like, the one weakness of it is that on block you can't actually cancel it. Like, you can't use it as part of like a rebeat string, so I can't cancel into other normals, but you can still special cancel it. So you can still do things like that. But anyway, I think 4C is like really what makes Enkidu like really fun to use. And then of course 5C. 5C and charge 5C. Oh, which game is that? The fan dub you're talking about? I don't think I'm aware of it. Oh yeah, I didn't see the fan dub that you're talking about. Was it like a mod or something? Because I don't think the game doesn't. The game definitely doesn't come with like English dub. That's for sure. But I know BB Tag has English dubs for the Undernight characters. I do want to see if I can do that combo from earlier. Hmm. What do I think about the English dub cast? Um, I mean, honestly, I prefer English dub in general, so uh, I'll always take that over Japanese voices if they have the English dub voices available. But um, I haven't tried. If this is a mod, I haven't tried it for Undernight, but I have heard um, the dubbed voices for BB Tag for the Undernight characters, and they're not bad. So dubbed Mika hurts my ears a little less. Well, that's part of the appeal of the character, right? You gotta have you gotta enjoy all the aspects of the character in order to play them. But yeah, that's fair. I mean, some things are just not preferable. For example, Nanase's theme, right? Okay, I see what's going on here. So the JB is hitting a little late. I don't even know if people use that kind of combo. That was totally improv. Yeah, I don't know what's new after that. But 4C is pretty good. Let's just leave it at that. Enkidu's 4C is pretty good. I'll be chilling here for maybe another 20 minutes and then call it a day. So, um, you guys have any other questions or uh, any other things you want to talk about? Feel free to shoot it in the chat. How's you guys' daylight savings been if you're in the US? Daylight savings was earlier today, and I was not very happy that 1 hour of sleep was robbed away from me. But I'm not as tired as I thought it would be, so that's the good part. How has the pandemic affected you? Yeah, so it was mostly last year where I was just kind of losing motivation in general, like just kind of related to everything, not just I mean, making videos in the grand scheme of things is a relatively like a lesser thing compared to school and mental well-being and all of that. But I was just losing motivation like for things in general. It took me a while to kind of just get back into being locked in, but um, you know, I'm just glad to have 2020 out of the way and hopefully not have to think about it anymore. But for the moment, I've been hanging in there. I do think I've fully made adjustments um, to online learning, but it's still not my favorite. But in the end, you got to do what you got to do to keep people safe from getting sick with all of these COVIDs and all of that. I do wish that regarding like just fighting games, I do wish the netcode were better like beforehand, but it's not a bad thing that it took this to get people to realize that good netcode is kind of important. But at least I've been things have been much better for me right now than they were last year and even a few months ago. So thanks for asking, Hot Spice. Um, Rockazulu. Um, oh, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I went to bed like I think 11:30 ish local time, like 11:30 p.m. And I forgot kind of like I remembered to switch the time before I went to sleep, but then I forgot that I switched the time when I woke up. So that kind of annoyed me when I first woke up, but um, thankfully not too tired right now. It does feel off at first, but hopefully, hopefully we'll grow accustomed to it for the next few months before things change back 1 hour. I do think one thing about the like just quarantine that's kind of improved me as a human being is just kind of having more patience because ordinarily I was just like rushing around all the time. Um, and like now I'm just kind of a little like while I'm still not in like the best position I could be, or the best state of mind I could be in, I feel a lot more patient just in general, not like rush to move about, move here and there, those kinds of things. But I do wish that I think I was mentioning earlier, I do wish that uh, there were just some games to play because at least amidst all the things that were going on, at least you could just play games and kind of forget about them for a bit. But with fighting games, the netcode wasn't good, so you couldn't even do that. I'll be back. I'm gonna get some water for a bit, and then return. Hopefully. Hello, Yoru Takeru. Sorry for my bad pronunciation if that's incorrect, but welcome. Hope you're having a good day so far. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna get some water. All right, sorry for the brief departure, but I'm back. Um, that was fine. Okay, that's good to hear. Okay. Yeah, I still am not crisp on my Japanese right now, but I'll keep trying my best. I'm gonna switch to Nanase and practice a few combos. Oh, this spacing is really weird. Oh, you know what? I have 2 frames of input lag right now. I wonder what you can do after that, because I don't like. Usually after 214C, I just do fireball, but I'm sure you can do more. Oh, you know what? I should probably do like like that. I think I should do that actually. Oh, actually, probably doesn't work because he checks out well before he hits the ground there. Oh yeah, no, can't do that, I guess. Um, oh, wrong side. Can't do that either then. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess that works too. Are you a fan of Vatista? I haven't gotten the game, but she looks interesting. Um, Honest opinion, I'm not a fan of Vatista. I honestly don't like anything about her. Not the way she plays, not the way she looks. Um, Playing against her is frustrating. All of that. uh, I think I think that's just to I think that's just the best way to put it. I'm not a huge fan of Batista, but regarding like her depth, she has a lot of just cool things you can do with her. But she's just like a wonky character. I mean, she's a charge character, right? Which normally would normally I wouldn't be against that, but she has charges in like the strangest directions, like charge forward, charge up. Those kinds of things are weird to get used to. Um, like, of course, I understand that you can charge during moves to like prevent yourself from jumping, for example. But it's just hard to get used to, you know. I'm trying to go from like a 5-8, multiple 5-As into B drill, but that's pretty difficult too. Yeah, and by then you're far away. You got to use charge partitioning for that. Oh yeah, and okay, another thing. I don't like charge partitioning. I know you don't need it to play this character, but like I still want to be if I'm going to play a character, I want to be able to do cool stuff with them, you know. And charge partitioning is a little too excuse me. It's a little too much for me. So, I'll pass on this character. I mean, she's fun, but annoying to play against. I don't particularly like her, you know, her design, but yeah, no, I'm definitely not like a huge fan of her. All right, I think I gotta call it a day for now. Um, have some other things to take care of, but thanks very much for watching. Uh, I might stream again sometime, but I don't think I don't know exactly when that'll be, but expect to see, as I mentioned earlier in the stream today, a few more videos like in more frequency, more variety of videos like tech videos, mini compilations potentially. Probably not match videos because I'm not really playing online, but you know, maybe when offline comes back or when the game gets rollback, whichever one happens first, then I'll be uploading match videos again. But for now, just compilations and things like that. Anyway, that'll be all for today. Thanks for watching. Uh, oh yeah, I feel like you need it to play her at a high level. Yes, definitely. Charge partitioning like enables all of the dirty things to be accomplished on her, but you don't necessarily need it to play her at a high level. But if you're able to do charge partitioning, you're gonna be pretty scary. And that's exactly how Neko Miko uses charge partitioning to make you scared, basically. But yeah, that'll be all. Yeah, no problem, Rakazulu. I hope it was useful. Take it easy as well. And for all the other viewers that tuned in today, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.